Well guys, welcome to Camp Prevost. It's been a while since I posted a video, and as you can see out here, I no longer have the bus. I did sell it to a great, wonderful couple in Texas, and gonna keep the videos up. I'm gonna try to add some more videos and things like that if I can, but just wanted to let people know I've got a final video coming out. I think kind of a tribute to all the people and all the trips we've taken and all of that, and kind of go through it. But I've had a lot of companies in the meantime reach out to me, and they want me to do some reviews on some of their equipment, and there's no strings attached other than I get the item and then I do an honest review. And so I'm gonna post probably 3 or 4 of those on this channel, and probably over Thanksgiving here I'll try to put together a video on the bus and the journey that we've had. It's kind of like losing a dog. You know, you kind of forget it and get busy, and it's easier to forget it that way. But with that said, I think what I'm going to do is, like I said, just do a couple of videos on some batteries and give an honest review of it. And if you like them, I'm glad it was of value. And if you don't like them, no worries. But just wanted to let you know I'm going to post a couple of those videos. And without further ado, here's the first one. Grener Power reached out to me and asked if I'd do a review on their lithium iron phosphate battery, and I said of course I would. So they sent it to me, and this is how it came, and this is their mini battery. And so what I'm going to do here is says this side up, I'm going to go ahead and do an unboxing, and I'm going to try to make these kind of standard when I review these, but I'll give kind of a whole bunch of information on it. And then what I want to do is see how many miles it charges my car. And so I'm going to do that as kind of a standard on all of these. So, but at any rate, go ahead and open this up. I have to just do an honest review. And so they've got a question and answer here. How long's the warranty? 5 years. Holy crap. 10 years there. Can you charge and discharge at the same time? So yes, you can. It looks like they've got a whole bunch of different offerings. The Mini that I've got, looks like they've got some really lower capacity ones there and some bigger capacities. So they offer quite a bit. This is a nice card here. So service card, kind of telling you what to use. And so here's all of the information. I'll go through that here. So I ended up just pulling it out with 2 hands, but it's a nice package. They've got it sealed, and yeah, it said lithium ion, and I was pretty confident it's a lithium iron phosphate. And so these are a lot better battery. And the lithium ion, so this is a 2023 Model Y Performance, and it has a lithium ion. And I actually prefer the lithium iron phosphate. I think it's a better chemistry. It's a little bit heavier per capacity, but you can go from 100% to 0 a lot more cycles than you can go on the lithium ion. The lithium ion, they really want you to go like 20 to 80%, and I think the cycles are less. And so if you kind of do the capacity and the longevity stuff, I think this lithium iron phosphate's the way to go, and it's a little more stable battery than the lithium ion. So I think if they ever offered that Model Y and a lithium iron phosphate, I think I'd trade her in. But they really put this tape on here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. All right, so I really like these handles. Just makes it so doggone easy to lift them because there is a little bit of weight to them. And this has got kind of a neoprene type cover, but it looks like the standard terminals on here. And it is nice looking battery. It's the plastic thing, so I'm sure they've got a nice makeup inside. I might try to find a picture of what it looks like, and I'll stick it here. So I'm not gonna tear the top off of this battery and open it up. A couple other people I'm sure have done that. But we'll go through some specs here. So it's a lithium iron phosphate, so 12.8 volt, 100 amp, capacity at 20 amp, so 300 minutes, so probably the math. So 1,280 watts, internal resistance is less than 10, self-discharge is 3% a month, so not very much. Cells are prismatic, that's good. So then the weight is 26 pounds. So it's pretty heavy battery, but I like it. What I'm wanting to do is put this in a case like I did with the other battery I've got and see how it does. But going through these, some more here. So recommended charge current is 20 amp. Maximum charge current is 100. Recommended charge voltage is to go all the way up to 14.6. And so the BMS charge cutoff is 14.6. So I've never really understood that. I mean, do you want to go all the way up and have the BMS cut it off? That's where I've always held it short. Maximum batteries, so 4P, 4S, that's pretty standard. Discharge is 100. Peak charge current, 200 for 3 seconds. And then here's the details here. BMS cutoff current, 300 amp for 31 milliseconds. So that's where she's gonna turn off. So you could start a vehicle with it, but I do not recommend doing that. BMS discharge cutoff, 10 volt. So that's where it's gonna cut her down. And short circuit, 2 to 600. So kind of pretty standard, I guess you could say. Heat tolerance, that's one. Suitable for use and then usually high temp up to 60 C. So I'll put something here for the conversion of that. So one thing I'm gonna do here is charge it up and see what they shipped it with. And to do that, I use my trusty Victron charger. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this hooked up over here. All right, so I got my trusty old Victron. It's just a 5 amp charger, got it hooked up to it, and I'll throw a chart up here. To the right of it is a competitor's battery, and so it came with approximately 40% in it. And we'll let this charge overnight, and we'll bring it back, and we'll see what kind of power it took to charge it up. And yeah, trying to get it to 100. So I'm just going to 14.2. And again, this said 14.6. But I'll show you in a chart up here why you just go to 14.2. I think it's more than enough. There's going to be plenty of arguments, I guess. Put in the comments what kind of voltage is that you charge up to, and for how long, and then your float and storage and all of that. But I go to 14.2 after watching Off-Grid Garage. So I'm just kind of comfortable with that. But like I said, I'll pick this back up in the morning. Should be fully charged by then, and we'll see what kind of current it has. And like I said, then what I want to do is hook up the charger to my car and an inverter, and we'll see how many miles that battery puts on my car. Well, it's the next day and it's fully charged up. Put 58 amps in. I'll put a chart up here showing it. So it shipped with about 40 amps in it, which seems about right. So now that it's fully charged, what I thought I'd like to do is to grab, excuse me, this inverter right here, 1500 watt, and see how many miles I can put into my car. All right, guys, so I'm kind of bored with, you can watch any channel and see how much power you can drain from a battery and how much capacity it has. What I'm gonna do is charge my Tesla with this battery, and we'll see how many amps, what it can really do, because I think I can push that thing, and I got my inverter to work with it. I'm gonna plug this into it. So I've also put this little meter up here, so it'll show how much current, power and energy has come through it. So I've got, this is 0 gauge wire. This is 175 amp Anderson connector. And this is the real deal here. So this is the shunt. So I've got it connected here back to the battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this hooked up. All right, so if I do 10 or 11 amps, that'll be right at 100 amps, because this is a 110 volt connector. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can figure out exactly what voltage my car is. So it says 220 miles, 73%. But what we're gonna do is you go to software, press in and hold, and then you hit service and tell you to do any of this. Do it at your own risk. Go to high voltage charging. So 0 amps. What I'm trying to figure out is what, there, I'm at 73.5%. Let's see, high voltage battery. It didn't really tell me much either. I think it shows a lot more if you're at a, this is what I want right there, 73.5 and charging. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and plug it in, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I actually turned that down because when I plug this in, I want to back that down to 10 amps. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and we'll plug this guy in, and we're going to drop this down to 10 amps. So it is 11:45, 220 miles, and 73%. We'll see how long this runs, I guess. So, and what it does. So it's wanting to go to 80%. It says 5 hours and 5 minutes. So we are, let's see if I shut my door here. It doesn't. I want to see how many amps and things I'm getting. So let's go to software again. See if this shows me anything here. High voltage charging. Is it charging? says up here it's just still 1 kilowatt. This doesn't really tell me much, I guess. 110 volt, 10 amp, single phase, charging. So I guess up here it's telling me just about as much. So I'll go back to here, go to charging. So it says I'm getting 1 kilowatt in here, and down to 110 volt, which is what this is. Let's see what this screen shows. So if we look at this screen, we are drawing 104 amps, 1,277 watts. So this is really pulling some current through here. So this is 9.8 amps, and yeah, well, these wires are not going to get hot. The connectors might, but we'll see how long it runs. And then we'll see if we can see how much, I'm just going to run it until the battery shuts itself off, or the inverter, one of the two. So we'll see how long she runs. So I just backed it down to 9 amps. So I'll do that on any other tests that I do, but it's getting a little uncomfortable. You know, if something in the battery or something like that, down to 91 amps. So I'm under the 100 amp load. Just didn't want to push it. So theoretical numbers, if this is 1130 watts, 91 amps, so what I should get is about 4 miles for my car. So if I can go 250, that'd be 4 miles. So it probably won't show that. It'll probably show 3 miles, and this should run for about an hour. Well, we are almost 300 watt hours into here. At about 250, the inverter popped on to cool itself down and turned itself back off there. So it's 1500 RMS, and it's pulling 13 or 1130, so it's good. The battery is at 90 amps and it's rated for 100, so it should be good. The one thing, so I heard the car, it's sunny out finally, which is nice. I ended up moving that dumpster thing in the way just to keep the sun off of the battery and the inverter. But I heard the air conditioner kick on in there just to keep the cab cool, so that may affect my miles. But everything looks fine so far. There's the inverter kicked back on to cool itself down. There's some heat over here. All these cables, it's a little warm. Got 100 amps. It's weird that the could just be the jacket. This one's a little warm and this one is cold. Could have been that it was just in the sunlight, but so far so good. So 20 minutes in, I'm pulling 91 amps, 377 watt hours. So it should give me 1 more mile already. It's hard to say here. So it is 74% and 221. So it's giving me 1 mile. Still pulling 9 amps. Yeah, okay, right there. So plus 1 mile. 1 mile an hour. So I think 1 mile an hour. So I do about 287 watt hours per mile. So theoretically I should get 4. So this should be about 4 miles an hour, you would think, right? Or am I thinking about that wrong? Put some comments down there if you want. But yeah, 221 already. State of charge, I think it was 73 before, and now it's 74. But yeah, we're about 20 minutes in. So you could say, you know, why are you doing this? I don't know. I guess you could think of that as like a Coke bottle's worth of gas in your car. These things are only 20 pounds. If you could get 4 miles out of one and you had 2 of them, you could get 8 miles. 8 miles is a pretty significant distance. It would take you about an hour and a half to do that. So you could probably walk it quicker, but you still got to get the vehicle moving. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Different way to go about doing a charge, I think. Just see, stress test everything, kind of see how it goes. And while I'm stress testing it, I'll might as well put some miles in the car. So, you know, and I can always hook the solar panels up to the batteries and charge them up. So if I could get a couple miles here and there for free, why not? Kind of fun. Kind of wanted to play the, you know, if you kept some gas with you. So if I ran my truck out of gas and it gets 20 mile a gallon, no loads, straight and level road. So 4 miles, so a half gallon would be 10 miles and a quarter gallon would be 5. So it'd be like a quarter of a gallon of gas that you kept with you is the equivalent of this battery. So I could get 4 miles, that could go 5. But you could say it gets 18 mile a gallon, but it's kind of the equivalent of a quarter gallon of gas. All right, we are 600 watt hours in. The battery voltage is holding really strong, 12.49. Everything so far has been holding up. We were at 73% and 280, I believe, 220. So yeah, we've gotten 2 miles and 74%. So the 2 miles I would say is accurate because we're 287. So I've gotten 2 miles. So we might be close to getting 4 miles out of this. It'd be kind of interesting. Trying to, I don't know how to turn, let's turn this AC off. Oh, freaking seat heater is on, that didn't help. This one on too. I think that's when you sit in it though. And there. I don't know how to use my car, it's brand new. I only got 5,500 miles in it a month. But I'm at 222 and it'd be interesting to see if, look at that, that says 2 miles an hour. So it'll be interesting to see when this goes down, because I don't know at what point this voltage is going to drop low enough that the inverter, got an airplane going overhead, inverter will drop out, or if the BMS will cut out. It'd be interesting to see where it is, but should be able to get at least 3 miles because I think every 300 watt hours I'm getting a mile, so I should be able to get at least 900 out of this because I'm pulling 91 amps out. It's not like I'm pulling an amp or two, so be kind of interesting to see. So checking back in here, it's been about 40 minutes. As you'll see, we are at 800 watt hours, still pulling the 1137. So this is going to be pulling the 9 amps out of here. And so as the voltage starts to drop down, so we're at 12.44, our amps have gone up to 91.4. So just sitting here kind of watching everything. I think as this trickles over to 900, I should get 1 more mile inside of the car. So just continuing to watch it. And this alpha power inverter, it's done really well. Keeps clicking on every now and then to cool itself down, and then shuts itself, the fans back off. But so far so good. The voltage there, it's finally starting to trickle down just a little bit, which it will. 12.44. So it'll be interesting to see if the battery BMS shuts itself off, or if the low voltage At some point I'm going to be dropping some voltage on the battery, and it'll probably be the inverter that'll kick it out at some point. But pretty solid voltage. I mean, we've gone from what, 12.5 to 12.44, so, and we've pulled 91 amps for 40 minutes, and we've gone 830 watt hours. So that's a pretty good load on the battery, and it holds that voltage pretty steady. So I'll check back in a little bit at 900 probably, see if we get another tick on the mile indicator on the car. So it is 12:33. We've just kicked past the 900 watt hours. The battery is rated at 1280, but not sure at what voltage. We've been pulling 91, 92 amps through there, and let's go see if we kicked up another mile. So it still says 222 in here, and 74%. There we go. So the fan was on in here for a little bit. I would imagine we'd be kicking up to 223 here any moment, because that's at 300, but we've got losses and everything like that through there. So be interesting to see what we get. So if we're at 9 and we hadn't ticked over to the 3, we probably won't get 4 out of that battery, but we should be able to get 3. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but I just ticked over to 223, and 223 was 963. So took 963 watt hours, at least on this, to tick us over to 3 miles. So, and we are down to 12.36 from 12.5, and we're pulling, something's got to give, you know, if we're still pulling the 1140 watts, and the voltage drops, so the current's got to go up there. So I would imagine maybe at 1,000, this may drop it out, or this might turn it off, but it's been doing real good. I mean, 92 amps, and we are at 1237, so let's say 1240, 55 minutes almost of running. So been out here kind of watching it to make sure nothing happens, but been doing good so far. But I would imagine this is going to start dropping, and something will happen here soon. So I just looked up the information here, and BMS discharge cutoff is 10 volt and maximum continuous 100. So I would say that's accurate. So we'll see. I don't know what 10 volt, 1120 over 10. So that's going to be 110 amps. So as that voltage drops and that car charger stays the same, those amps are going to ramp up. So BMS probably kick it off for overcurrent, but we'll run it down and see. This guy right there, I don't know what it cuts off at, but it's probably higher than 10, you would think. All right, so checking in here exactly 1 hour later. See where we're at here. So I've got the car set at 9 amps, and so I'll do the math. 9 amps at 110 volt, what that would be. And so this is saying 1134 watts right here, and we're still pulling the 11. The wattage on that's gone up just a little bit. The voltage has dropped down to 12.15 volt over 1 hour at 1140 watts used, and the current on the battery has gone up to 94. So I can go in here and look inside the car, but I would imagine it's going to say yeah, 223. So it's not going to tick up. It'll, if we get the 1280, it may put 4 on there. I don't know, we'll see. But I think it's done pretty good. 94 amps, 1150 watt hours pulled, and still going strong. Voltage is starting to drop now, 12.12. So we're starting to finally go down on that curve as 12.11. Again, this BMS won't shut off till 10, and I don't know what that is up there, but that'll shut everything down, and then we'll call it a day on it. So checking back in here, it might make it to so it's rated at 1280, and again I went to 14.2, so you could say there's 1/10 of an amp or something in there to pull out, but really starting to drop now. So 1207 watts pulled out. We're at 11.85, and the current is 96, almost 97 amps. So that's why I wanted to drop that down inside to 9. It's another good reason to keep me below my 100 amp max output on here. So I don't know, not too much further. It'd be interesting to see. So this right here is saying 11.1, 11.2 volts, and this one says 11.7. So I don't know, we'll see what happens here. So I'm just gonna hit record. Voltage is really starting to taper off. It's counting down pretty quick as we're getting up to that it's maximum power, and this thing's saying 10, so I think something's gonna happen here pretty soon. But holy cow, man, I didn't think we'd get I thought we'd shut off about 1,000. So I think this is kind of a neat test. I can keep it consistent. I can keep the 9 amps inside, this whole setup the same. So there's the alternator, or the inverter. She's not liking it. It's going down to 10. We're at 1250. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this on here. It's saying it doesn't like it. It's gonna turn it off here. But battery, we are at 1255. Voltage is at 10.75. So man, we're gonna be close. Gonna be close before something gives up here. 1260. I'd almost say that's a win. Holy cow. We are down to 10.6 volts, 10.55. She's really starting to taper off. The inverter's saying 9. There it goes. So it went to turn that off. So we got 1264 out of there, and I think that's pretty doggone good. I doubt we got our yeah, 223, but you never know. I mean, you can't really tell the car if it was on the low or the high side of the mile, but I'd say we got 3 to 4 miles in there, and especially at 1264 watt hours put into the car, that's at least 4, so maybe 5. So if I could get 250, one could argue that I got 5 miles out of this, because I can get, if I really played with the car, I could get 250. So that's 4 or 5 miles. So I'm gonna say I got 5 miles out of this. But yeah, this is the Grener Power 1280 watt. You know, one could argue if I ran it up to the 14.8 instead of 14.2, I could get the 12.64, and again, the battery was still going. It was just the inverter that shut itself off. But this is a good constant to evaluate a battery. So there'll be a link to this battery. They have really good price. It's really good. It's small. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. I think I'm going to test every battery I get in here like this. So I've got this battery, and I've got my Prevost Mini, and got my Dr. Prepare, and there's 2 other batteries as well. So hit like and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.